And I welcome you today to CSC Talk Radio. It's my honor, my privilege, and my pleasure to be here with you today. We're going to talk about government corruption, government for hire today, and I'm going to ask you the question, because I know some of you listen and some of you don't, to the mainstream media and the other media, Fox, and they've got two different stories going out. So do you really believe in this Russian collusion? So, government for hire, that's what's happening today. We hear it all over the place, and of course, it's been happening for decades. Career politicians. Do you think that the politicians are there because they're worried about your careers? No, they're not. So why do they spend 3 to 10 times more money in campaigns, and that's probably a very modest amount, to land a job that pays so much less? Now, they're well paid, but not to cover the debt that they incur with their campaigns. And yet, after they land these jobs, they end up wealthy. Not just a little wealthy, extremely wealthy, including Bernie Sanders, who speaks of equal pay and redistribution of the wealth, socialism which strips the governed, the people, of dignity and happiness. There is no incentive, are you listening? There's no incentive to do better. You have to give what you earn, or at least a part of what you earn, to that neighbor who's sitting around in his underwear drinking a beer all day. The left are growing more and more desperate and violent each day. But the rhinos, they're really not a whole lot different. The swamp serves a purpose. A swamp serves a purpose. It's actually an ecosystem where certain creatures survive. But a sewer, which is what I think we really deal with, the sewer is made up of ficus, and it breeds bacteria and disease. And I believe we're dealing with a deep state sewer issue, not swamp. So we need Roto-Rooter to the rescue, please. The governing is now so deeply embedded that they have the audacity, the boldness to attack the people. Yes, the people. Maxine Waters calling for violence against we the people. If you voted for President Donald Trump, we don't want you here. What is her net worth these days? She doesn't even live in the district she represents. And by the way, she has a fence around her house. This doesn't stop with the elected. The bureaucrats who are hired or appointed by the elected are nasty little bacteria bred by the elected. You know, America, you know something's wrong, and it's been wrong for a very long time. What will it take to bring us back together? You know, we had Foster Freeze on the first part of this week talking about taking somebody out to coffee. Find the common denominator. But what will it take for us to realize we have been, all of us, even those that are out there campaigning with Bernie Sanders, you've been bamboozled. We literally bought the bridge in the desert. Elections this November are vital. And you know me. I'm not someone who will tell you to go vote Republican. But at this point, I don't see how we cannot put another Democrat in office. They're socialists now. They admit it. That's what they want. They take an oath of office to the constitutional republic, and then they legislate socialism. So do rhinos, by the way. The rhinos aren't any better, except for face. They might once in a while stand with the president. And perhaps we can nail them to the wall when we get them elected. We have to hound them. We have to stay on them till they're miserable and they don't want to run for office again. We the people have got to do it, or it won't get done. It is we the people. No hyphens. Gender ID is not important. It's not necessary. The color, the separation of religions, not important. We the people, equal, not because of a constitution, not because of a piece of paper, but equal under God. So I'm going to go back today to the article, the timeline of the corruption that I started to read to you, to share with you about 2 weeks ago. One of you actually sent a self-addressed stamped envelope for it. I think you all should have it. I think it's imperative that we know and we hear. If you're not listening to the alternative news and all you're hearing is mainstream, I don't know how you could listen to the mainstream media. They're so angry. They're so unhappy. Have you ever seen a happy liberal? I haven't seen a happy liberal. Anyway, it's imperative that you know and understand. You have to hear both sides before you can make up your mind, and it's not fair that you're not if you aren't. So let's stand together, America. Let's forget what color we are, what gender we are, what occupation you are, and let's stand together as Americans and take our country back. Bring America home. Here's a U.S. code, 595. It's 18 U.S. code 595. Now, I'm not a lawyer. I'm not an attorney. I'm not somebody that has all this wisdom. This was sent to me. And I'm reading it because of all the topic that we have today. It says the 18 U.S. Code 595. Whoever, being a person employed in any administrative position by the U.S., uses his official authority for the purpose of interfering with or affecting the nomination or the election of any candidate for the office of president, not more than 1 year. It's against the law to do what we are hearing the FBI did and the DOJ helped them with, along with Hillary Clinton, along with a few rhinos. Yes, the Republicans, I believe, were in on this. We haven't got names yet. Well, actually, we had a name dropped several months back that helped pay for the dossier. He's no longer with us, but his name was dropped. So the purpose of government is to enable the people of a nation to live in safety and happiness. Government exists for the interests of the governed, not for the governors. That was a quote from Thomas Jefferson. Think about that. It exists for you, not you for them. Where have we heard something like that before? But what are you hearing when you listen to these elected officials? What are you hearing when Maxine Waters gets up and says you're not wanted here? I'm thinking something's inside, outside, upside down. Don't you? I hear music. We're going into a break. Your calls are welcome. Keep it on task. We're talking about the corruption, and I do want to get this shared with you today. So, 877-895-5410 is the number to call. That's 877-895-5410. And we will be right back.